Hey there. Today we are talking about belief. Question, how do beliefs get established in our mind? How do we know what we believe and where does it go? Where do our beliefs go in the way that we think, in the way that we live our lives? I will tell you in many ways, there are many positive beliefs that we establish for ourselves, specifically through consistency and repetition of what we do and the way we act upon our beliefs that can be healthy. We also do the same thing to negative beliefs. So let me give you a story to kind of illustrate. My wife came here from Brazil when she was 10 years old. She was enrolled in school, and her very first day of school, the teacher calls her up to the front of the room and asks her to recite the alphabet. So she points to the letters going across the chalkboard and says them in Portuguese, so a slight intonation difference. And in the process of doing that, the teacher corrects her to make her say them more like in English, all the while the kids are laughing and giggling at her. In that moment, my wife developed a belief. And the belief was that she should not speak in front of people, and that fact she's terrible at it, and people are gonna laugh at her if she does. Which basically put her in a place. She felt anxiety and stress and fear and heart palpitations and everything at the thought of standing. Now she stands in front of people and she speaks in front of people to this day, but it is something she has to work through to overcome. All that came from a negative belief that was established when she was 10 years old. So I ask you these things, we call those things around here limiting beliefs, right? And we create limitations. And sometimes those beliefs are things that we adopt, and sometimes those are things that were placed on top of us based off the environment that we were in. Maybe a moment or situation. You might identify with my wife's story in this. The question is not, do we have limiting beliefs? Because quite honestly, we all have them. The difference is we often focus on this barrier of what's in front of us and we allow that to stop us. Many of you have heard me talk about my issue on my limiting belief with dancing. But what's on the other side of that limiting belief is where all of a sudden life opens up big. There are opportunities on this side. The question is, we often don't focus on what's on the other side of the limiting belief. We focus on the limiting belief itself and allow that to stop us. So here's the question. What if we replace that limiting belief, and what if we opened it up to an unlimiting belief? What if we believed and lived in such a way till there were no limitations on what we believed, but everything was completely open and unlimited? At that point, you would then be in the place to choose the life that you want to live, as opposed to only responding to the limitations that have been set in front of you. I mean, let's face it, we have one life. For everybody listening to this, every single one of us struggles with limiting beliefs. All of us do. Even when we've broken through on some, we encounter a next one. So in the process of encountering next one, what would it look like to open it up? My kids, we have this conversation on a regular basis. I do not allow them to say the word I can't. And the reason why I don't like the word I can't is because it immediately shuts down the limitation. It creates the limitation right there every time they do it. The question is they can, it's just, do you choose to or not? That's the question. So I hope you'll think about that today, and what life will you choose to live? Take care.